Oh yes. It is currently 2:30 in the morning. What am I doing? Out walking about with a bag full of sandwiches and a belly full of bananas and hot milk. Not the breakfast I had hoped for, but I've kind of changed my plans very last minute, and I don't know, I'm as adequately prepared as I could be. So, what am I actually doing? Well, if you remember back during the winter solstice, I did 50k 2 days in a row during the shortest hours of daylight. Today and tomorrow are basically the summer solstice, the days with the greatest amount of sunlight. So I thought, why not take this opportunity to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is to attempt to walk 100k in one day. I am sure it will be fine, but we'll see how it goes. So I kind of last minute brought this forward one day from when I had planned to do it. So I'm slightly lacking a bit of organisation I might have had. Definitely lacking a little bit of sleep, but I feel alright. Plan at the moment is kind of just wander about in the more well-lit areas until it starts to brighten up, which shouldn't be too long. This time of year there's technically no night, though the sky is very dark. It's at least towards the horizon, it's noticeably not pitch black or anything. It's time of day that you call astronomical twilight, which means it's dark enough to see the stars in that, but it's technically not actually night. Anyway, I emerge back out onto West Hill, walk in the middle of the road like a very sensible person. I'm just going to continue wandering about. jog. Imagine it's probably very difficult to see anything on the camera. Although, to my eyes, it's really not that dark. It should start to brighten up, like, within 1 hour, really. The main potential issue that I have, having brought this forwards one day, is it means I've not had a proper rest day in who knows how long. It's probably been like a week now. Get the feeling it's probably pitch black on the camera as usual. I'll see if I can do anything for it in editing, if I ever get around to editing the video, which I still haven't for my last 2 videos, both of which are like months old at this point. I wish the camera would be like good in low light settings. You can see the silhouette of the hills across the river against the dark sky. It looks very nice. Again, it probably doesn't show up on camera, but you can definitely see the first real signs of daylight towards the north. It's like basically almost light enough to properly see by as well, at least like to my eyes. I can see where I'm going right now, even though it's probably pitch black on camera. Actually ended up getting the head torch out, since I'm walking down somewhere with no street lights. It is still like light enough that I could probably navigate this without anything, but it's worth having it on just in case. Bit of a bizarre thing that I didn't really expect to come across, but walked past the ship inn back there. There was like an open window upstairs, someone blasting out My Chemical Romance at 3:45 in the morning. I guess dawn is fast approaching now. Are those Christmas lights? In the middle of June. Although, to be fair, like the other day, I actually heard a Christmas song just out in the wild in the middle of June. That was a bit bizarre. But anyway, sunrise is imminent. All but the brightest stars are no longer visible in the sky. With my impeccable timing, probably going to end up at the bottom of a hill for the sunrise rather than the top. I guess ideally I'd be somewhere like up by the showground, which is like roughly where I'm planning to be heading, I guess. Back up the hill, then maybe down onto the camel trail towards the coast. So I head back up the hill, looking towards the northeast. You can really see where the sky is brightening. The sun is about to rise. Rabbits. I think in the end it's a bit cloudy to actually see the sunrise. See if I get any clearer of a view anywhere down here. Looks quite wonderful this early in the morning. Anyway, just joined the camel trail, so nice and flat for quite a while now. First I've seen of the sun so far. Just about starting to peek over those hills. Well, the hills and the clouds. It is due to be somewhat cloudy today. I think it's like on off, cloud and sun all day. Should get relatively warm. Quite looking forward to it. Hopefully it's doesn't end up getting too hot, but I think there's a bit of a breeze today, so it shouldn't be. I had been planning to do this tomorrow, and tomorrow is like, it's forecast to be the hottest day of the week. Like, sun all day long and very little wind, which actually is not ideal because I don't really want to be out in the sun all day long. So that may actually be like a pro of doing this today rather than tomorrow. So the thing on my mind now, like, yeah, the sun's coming out, that's quite nice. But I have been walking about 3 hours or a bit over 3 hours in like the dark, and it's been relatively cool. My hands are feeling the cold a bit, so hopefully I'll start to warm up, but considering whether I should get some hot food in Padstow to warm my hands up on as much as anything. Places generally will start opening from 8 o'clock, which is still a few hours away, so we shall see. Might not need it by then. I do have plenty of food with me, mostly just sandwiches. I got 2 packs of 6 rolls, and they were 20p each, reduced, so 40p for 12 rolls. I have 6 with like smashed avocado and salsa in them, and then I have 6 with like nacho cheese dip and salad. And I have a big bag of nuts and dates. I've already eaten my bananas. But bananas are relatively low energy value compared to the rest of what I've got. Apparently whenever I last recorded I had the stabilisation off on the camera. So potentially all the video I've recorded so far may be terribly shaky cam. Oh well. I was thinking, sometimes I think I should just like exclusively eat dates when I'm active. Since I tried eating dates like for running, they're incredibly easy to eat. Like, just put a date in your mouth and you barely have to chew it before swallowing. I realise that's why people use like the energy gels and that, but I don't really like those things. But I haven't really found anything else that's quite as easy to get down as just dates. I guess other soft fruits might also be good, but a lot of fruits have seeds in them. Like I did try soft figs, but figs are full of seeds. I don't mind eating the seeds, but it's getting stuff stuck in the teeth That's the annoying part. I think at some point I said in a video, which I may not have even produced, I never go in these Rick Stein places, and I really had no interest in doing so. I went in that Stein's Deli a few weeks ago, just because I had some time to spare before I was meeting someone. And they sell a haddock pasty. So I was like, okay, I have to try this. I was really quite disappointed because, like, it's Rick Stein, right? It's some kind of famous chef. You feel like you go into a place like that, maybe you should expect something kind of upmarket, which I guess in theory it is. But what I got was like this really quite bland pasty, which was, at least the pastry was quite overcooked and just disappointing. And it costs like over £5 as well. But then I guess in like my cynical view that I have of these kind of things, in a way that's exactly what I would expect. Because really it's like, it's kind of just like a tourist trap sort of place, isn't it? It's got some famous chef's name attached to it, but the stuff they sell is just all incredibly overpriced, like novelty stuff. So the sun is really coming up now, but kind of forget how much the temperature can just like drop off around the coast, because it gets a lot more breezy, and with like, I don't know exactly where the tide is, but it's relatively high. I guess you get a bit of chill off the water as well. So it's quite chilly down here since I got into Padstow. So I'm not sure at the moment, like, whether I continue around the coast path or like head inland a bit, keep warm while we're still during the earlier hours of the day. So one of my big like gripes with doing what I'm doing now is probably something that most people would not even think of. Or it may just be surprising, but it's like finding recycling points. Like at some point I'm going to want to buy another bottle of water, or maybe several. but like, I don't want to carry empty bottles around with me. I want to recycle them. But finding public places where you can recycle bottles is apparently quite difficult. Like, I know one place where I can do that. Oh, that's to say, like, one place along the route that I'm probably going to be following today. Like, I had originally planned to do this walking down to Newquay and then back. I know that there's a couple of public recycling points in Newquay, but if I go back towards Wadebridge and Bodmin, it's like I know very few places where you can take stuff to be recycled. Warming up a bit again now that I've walked slightly inland. So a lot of today is probably just going to be me wandering about, like, in random directions. I don't have a proper route planned out. Like I said, I was going to be walking to Newquay and then walking back, but because I've sort of last minute changed which day I'm doing this on, that affects my plans. So I'm not able to commit to doing that route. Which is, well, the reason behind it is really quite silly, I guess. Which is that it's currently a Wednesday, and I go to running club on Wednesdays. So at some point today, I'm going to end up wandering to the meeting point for running club. Not that I expect to be able to run, seeing as that will be near the end of the day, but I'll probably join like the run walk group. We shall see how that goes, if I even make it that far. Always love looking out towards Trevose Head. Need to make a decision about which way I'm going to go now. Suddenly going to be exposed again. It's a bit breezy, it's still a bit cold. Bit cloudy, like I said. Let's follow the road up to the village. away from the worst of the wind, it's still considerably more wind than the way I walked across on the farm track. Wonderful day for visibility though. It's very, very clear. I guess I ended up walking like out around, coming back towards the top of the town now. Back over towards the river mouth again. We get down to the bottom of this path, turn and head back into the town. My next objective, so to speak, is probably heading back into Wadebridge. I guess that will end up being like roughly the halfway point. A little bit less. Still early enough in the morning that it's been very quiet. Not really seeing many people about. Not too far back to Wadebridge now. Then I guess I'm going to go on towards Bodmin. Maybe head up to Wenford Bridge at the end of the camel trail. I guess the other end compared to the one I've just come from. So yesterday when I was doing my shopping that Lidl now sells high protein chocolate, by which they mean it's like reduced sugar, but I guess it contains like those soya protein crispy things to bump up the protein content. Kind of wonder what that stuff is like. Can only imagine it's probably terrible. The wandering just continues. I guess that was off camera for a while. Coming back through Wadebridge, and then I was walking up a few of the back lanes. Just coming back down towards the town. Camel trail is down at the bottom of this field. So I guess next objective will be Sainsbury's in Bodmin. There I will top up on drinks, and that will also be like my recycle and rubbish point. Still relatively quiet around. It's about 10:20. Thinking of putting on an audiobook for a couple of hours while I do this section. So if I do that, probably filming less. Not that I've been filming that much anyway, but probably no talking. Kind of on my way out of Bodmin now, I guess. I went into the Sainsbury's, recycled my bottle, emptied my rubbish bag of banana skins. Bought some more water. I might go into the Home Bargains here, get like a cheap energy drink or something to keep me going. Got this kind of rock star taste, interesting. Anyway, I guess I'm going down this hill back down towards the trail. I didn't get any hot food. I'm thinking if I do, probably be right at the end of the day. Which seems fine for me right now. I haven't needed to eat in quite a long time, like a few hours now. So I'll probably eat something relatively soon, but like I said, I've still got plenty of food in my bag. Since I got basically everything, like all my ingredients that I was making my sandwiches with were pretty much all reduced. It was really cheap to put together quite a lot of food. I don't know exactly where I'm going. I assume this path leads down. Here we are then, back at Camel Trail. So it's roughly 10k back into Wadebridge from here. So if I walk like 10k towards Wenford Bridge, which is probably most of the way there, if I can remember my distances, then by the time I walk back, should arrive in Wadebridge about the time that I would be there for running club. And with less than 10k to go to reach 100. So I think that sounds like a plan at the moment. So I just got a message on my GoPro saying that my SD card can't record with the current settings. And I'm like, I have never removed my SD card from the camera, and it's never had an issue regardless of the settings that I've used. And I have used much higher settings than I'm using now, and it's been fine. So I don't know if that was just a glitch or something. So I'm now on the Wenford Bridge branch of the path. Just behind me is where it forks off either to go Wadebridge or Bodmin, or come this way and go to Wentford Bridge at the very end of the trail. I'm not sure exactly where I will get to, but according to my watch I should probably be walking until it says roughly 75k, maybe just a bit less. So we'll see where I am when it buzzes me for 75. This section is usually the quietest part of the trail, which is really because there's I think there's no bike hire at this end. There is a new bike hire that's just opened at the Borough Arms, which is at Dunmere, just before Bodmin. So it might get a bit more popular for people to cycle up this way. I think I'm faring relatively well so far. This is now the longest distance that I've covered during one day this year. My previous longest was 63 point something. I did a marathon and a half at some point just to test myself, and that was mostly running. So walking, obviously I'd expect to be able to go quite a bit further. The energy requirement is significantly lower. Because of my last minute change of plans though, I only had 2 hours of sleep last night. Like I had a driving lesson, I got back in and was just like, okay, I'll make a rough plan of what I want to do, run out to the shop, buy all my food and drink, then like prepare sandwiches and whatnot, get everything together. By the time I went to sleep it was about 11 o'clock, and then I had my alarm set for 1 o'clock. Woke up at 1, got washed, ate breakfast, drank hot milk and an energy drink, and then just like left at just past 2 o'clock in the morning. So I guess at this time of year it's like, that's not long gone solar midnight, which is the darkest part of the night. But it was still relatively light outside this morning. When I went out. Hit 67k, pretty much bang on the 11-hour mark, so averaging just over 6 kilometers per hour. I paused my watch when I went in Sainsbury's and Home Bargains, so any distance I walked inside those shops hasn't counted towards the total, but also the time spent in there doesn't count. So really it's like slightly over 67k at the moment and slightly over 11 hours, but I don't think the tracking would be at all accurate if I'm inside, so I pause it if I'm going in a shop or anything. Guess I should try to get some food down sooner or later. I didn't want to eat too soon after drinking that energy drink because I'm like full of liquid. It would feel quite uncomfortable, but I think that's like settling out now, so I can put more stuff in my stomach. Okay, managed to get some food down while walking. Sandwiches are a bit sloppy. It's kind of inevitable if you use any kind of sauce or anything, and then you're walking with them for hours. Quite enjoying the peace and quiet. So obviously it's now the afternoon, starting to warm up a bit. Kind of want to take off my hoodie, but I don't know, because the pocket in the hoodie is really useful. I have to move everything around. It's getting a bit too hot to continue wearing it though. I guess it's more of a problem with the backpack that I'm wearing. Like it's only got one front pocket, because obviously it's a backpack, it has shoulder straps, but it has waist straps as well. But there's only a pocket on one of the waist straps compared to the one that I usually wear for running in. That one has a pocket on each of the waist straps and each of the shoulder straps, so you can dump quite a lot of stuff where it's easily accessible. Did think about just wearing my running backpack, but it's a lower capacity, which means like I'm not able to carry as much stuff overall. So anything important that I can fit in this bag might not fit in my running one. Like I definitely wouldn't have fit the same amount of food in there. Not that that's really an issue, considering I've been past supermarkets and whatever. But you never know when you might need these things in case of emergency. You can only rely on having to restock like up until a certain point. If something were to go horribly wrong and I'm like out here somewhere, I might need the extra food, extra drink, extra clothes, like stuff that I can easily pack into this backpack that I would struggle to fit all in my running one. Thinking turn back relatively soon. I mean, this is Shellwoods, which is not far off the end of the trail anyway. It's like 3 kilometers or so. Which is roughly where I said my turning point would be. But like even from here, if I turn back and go back to Wadebridge now, I'll be on something like 90 kilometers. And then when I'm back in Wadebridge, it's like it'll be easier for me to judge how much I need to do to finish up, if that makes sense. Like especially if I end up going to the running club, or once I factor in how much distance I need to walk to get like to my front door and whatever. Maybe this is a good turning point. Kinda arbitrary, but I ought to turn sooner or later, just for the reasons that I said. I could quite easily go on to the end, but I just think I'm doing enough already. There's no use overdoing it for no reason. Maybe I walk up to the bridge and then turn. I guess when I reach a turning point, I ought to take that opportunity just to take off my hoodie, try and reshuffle my stuff. I can hear that the river is not far off. Here we are at the bridge over the river. This is where I'm going to turn around. It's about a 3-hour walk back to Wadebridge, so a decent amount of distance to cover. And a convenient bench to shuffle my stuff around. Ah yes, completely forgot about my camera after I sorted all my stuff out. See, because it's not in my front pocket now. I just didn't even think about recording anything. So I guess you rejoin me quite a way back down towards Bodmin. Still enjoying it, having a good time, thinking about the possibility of getting like Indian takeaway or something I don't really do that sort of thing. The plan was to like already have had food prepared, but again, plans changed, so I don't have, well, I don't really have food prepared at home. I have salad, but it's not really a hearty meal to come home to after doing 100k. I'll happily do like 50-60k and then eat a salad. Anyway, just 15k left to go, so that's not too long now. I'm on flat ground, so it's like 2.5 hours really. Getting close to being back in Wadebridge now. It's like a couple more kilometres really. And then from there, like, I'm very nearly done. So I'll just be finishing off over the next 2 hours, I guess. Just a bit of a wander about until the watch ticks up to 100. Just coming back towards the town. And now past 90. So almost there. Back in Wadebridge. Wandered just out into Sladesbridge. Now wandering back towards Wadebridge. I guess I will go to the running club, even if only just to say hi to people. Obviously I'm not going to be running, but I was thinking of joining up with the run walk group for a little bit. Welcome to Wadebridge, according to the sign. Oh, this has certainly been an experience anyway. I basically haven't stopped, apart from when I had to sort my bag, take my hoodie off. I haven't really stopped walking at all. She'll have to do like a bit at the end. How does it feel? Oh. We will see. This path is somewhere I haven't been before, but I'm not going to continue down there because I'll get stinging nettles all over my legs, which I don't really want. Twenty more minutes of wandering before running club. Okay, probably enough wandering now. Going to head to the running club and then finish up. I guess I will be back with like my final thoughts to end this off. Just did about 15-20 minutes with the running club run walk group. Heading back up that same road I was on a minute ago. Just back into Wadebridge, and I will be all done. So anyway, that's that. 100k done. How does it feel? It feels good. I'm going to see how I feel in the morning though. I think that might be a completely different matter. We'll find out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.